Oh, there we go.
Yeah, hold on.
I have us as having the little theme song is that deep.
I promise I did a test run. I don't know what just happened. Welcome to Track Girl Summer. We are back. I am your co host, Natasha Hastings. This is my co host, Kori Carter, and we are Track Girl Summer.
Trap girl summer, trap girl summer.
Follow me, Natasha Hastings, all the things, Twitter, IG, Facebook. Follow Kori, the Kori Monster, on all the things as well. Most importantly, the
Also,
reason why you're here. Follow Track Girl Summer. You know, we might pop up.
who
We might
knows?
give you some content, but it's the
We might do
US
some
Championship, so here we are for a little after party. Subscribe, all the things. Yes, it's been a minute, but we're back. Kori, how goes it?
It's going well. We missed you guys. Natasha, um, first of all, sorry there was no little theme song, but we're
I don't
here.
know what happened.
We forgot how to do the show, but we're here.
No.
Natasha, why don't you tell them why we've been MIA?
Well, I'm gonna apologize for the technical difficulties because I did, Kori, tell them I was like, come, let's do a test run, let's test the audio, all the things. I tested out the intro. I don't know what happened, but here we are. Um, Good to see you all in the chat too. Glad you love your shirt. Sydney is a boss. We gonna get into those things, but first, Kori, what I've been up to. I've been momming. I've been studying. I am a graduate student at the University of South Carolina. Um, I've been training, but training didn't work out for me this season. I was planning to be in Eugene this summer, but didn't happen. But that's all right. So yeah, working on some things. I have some announcements coming up in a few weeks, but I'll wait to share those announcements as I iron things out officially. What have you been up to, Kori?
Um, I don't know, like living my little life. My little diabetic life. Just I'm about to start school, so I'm packing up my little home to move to Philadelphia.
To
Um,
go to school where? Or is
yes,
that an
she's gonna be
announcement?
in Girl, so she's gonna work to get her MBA. Um, so
Because, here at Try Girl Summer, excellence is the standard.
trying to be a business girl like Natasha. But yeah, that's been like my life a little bit, just like adjusting to living with type 1 and all that stuff. But I know you guys don't really care about. I mean, y'all care,
They
but
care. They
y'all
care.
y'all want to hear about what happened on this track and not about what I got on my GMAT. So how
Before
do
we
we?
get into it, y'all know the deal. Um, it's been a while since we've been here, so our viewers are low. But y'all that watch the after party with us, not the after party, the watch party on IG Live, y'all wanted us to come over to YouTube. So since we're here, take this link, share it on Twitter, IG, all the things. Invite your people to the party, have them come over. We'll be back tomorrow. We're ironing out the time because somebody asked how Liam is doing. Liam is doing great. Liam might be a part of the show tomorrow. So it'll be sometime after the meet tomorrow. But yeah, so go ahead, Kori.
Okay, highlights. Alison Michelle, her final, not her final,
Not her
her
final,
final
final, yeah.
US trials final. So that was like an emotional race to watch. I just was like, yeah, that she had me so hyped yesterday in the semi, and I told you she was gonna get at least two. I told y'all she was gonna get at least two. She made this team, so we'll get to see her once again in Oregon in a few weeks, and then they said that her last race is gonna be August 7th in LA, and I'm like, let me see what these flights are looking like. Granted, I start school on the 9th, but I might have to slide through. So that was like emotional highlight for me. How did you feel about the 400 since you are the 400 girl?
Yeah, it was I was actually pretty emotional too. Funny enough, like Gail, I was looking at the eyes. I don't know if anyone else noticed this or if I'm projecting or what, but it almost looked like Allison might have been a little bit emotional at the line. And I honestly couldn't help but think about, and like my eyes are watering a little bit too. Um, I think I've shared before that like Allison and I have been running against each other since we were 13 or 14. We trained together for 1 year. We've obviously spent years banging against one another. More so me banging against her than her banging against me. Cause like, but we've been teammates. We're both moms, and then now to see the initiatives, and she's essentially carrying, and I sent her a text message, she's essentially carrying women's track and field and motherhood on her shoulders at the moment. And I know that that was pretty much why she even ran this season, was those initiatives that she's running for. And so I couldn't help but get emotional. I think I was a little biased and overzealous and excited yesterday when I was like, "Ooh, y'all let her get in the final. She's gonna be in the top three tomorrow." But I can say that I was definitely proud, um, overwhelmed with joy and pride. Um, Seeing my contemporary, just I think Sonia put it really eloquently, like put a bow on this era. Like
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
she definitely laid it out there on the track, and I was like, I couldn't be more proud to have competed against, shared the space with someone like Allison.
yeah. I like.
See, a couple of you said the same thing. I saw that too. I almost cried a little. Yeah, I was looking in her eyes and I was like, oh my God, are you getting a little bit emotional? And I almost felt like totally deserved, if that is in fact what I saw, you know?
Yeah, and like I feel like I said this last night. I feel like Allison has like a direct effect on the athlete that I am. Like if you ask high school Kori who her favorite athlete was, it was Allison, and then she and Jenny just really helped mold me into a professional athlete and show me the ropes and just let me stop before I
Yeah, it's not an Allison show tonight, but it was.
well, not it is she has had such an impact on the sport overall, and I know like a lot of opportunities I had as an athlete is because of her, and like a lot of the the path that I took as an athlete, a lot of the times I just was watching her footsteps and trying to step where she stepped. Sometimes when I was training with Bobby, literally just trying to follow behind her, but like to see her go through the highs and the lows and the way that she conducted herself through adversity and through triumph. I don't. It was just yeah. It's just Allison, but we saw like the new stars in the sports trying to starting to come up. How
Talitha
did you feel
Diggs had a
about?
great, sorry, to
I'm gonna
lethal digs, as she has been coined.
I
She
love a
had
good
a
race.
great final, and she showed great poise coming from about third place, second or third place that she came from in that last 80 meters to take that win, 50.22. I think that's quite impressive coming off of a collegiate season. She ran 49.99 a couple weeks ago at the NCAA's. For those of you that don't know, she comes from, as Atto said in the broadcast, good stock.
Mhm.
Her mom and two aunts are etched in history, along with her grandfather. Um, I mean, they didn't mention Joe Clark, but Joe Clark did a lot for us as well. But um, gosh, and we didn't even mention her uncle, who's a great coach too. So yeah, Talitha was born in 2002. Yes, she was. She wasn't even born when Alison ran her first U.S. trials, but nonetheless, it was a good run for her. Yeah, and it was an exciting final to watch. Much of the pool for the 4x4 and mixed relays will be coming from this race, along with some others. Shall we talk about the 400 hurdles? How did you feel about that race?
Um, before we move on to 400, I just want to shout out Kennedy Simon. That's my daughter. Gave birth to her, raised her myself.
Oh,
Um,
Lord.
so very proud of her making her first team. But the 400 hurdles, it was. I was telling Natasha before we got this,
Yes, Joe
it was
Clark from Lean on Me. Yes, that is her grandfather.
yes.
Sorry, go ahead.
It was like, what's the word I'm looking for? Not weird, just like
You said it.
it was just like it was just, I think it was like it wasn't what I think
Use
of
the
when I
word
think
that
of
you used. It was anticlimactic.
anticlimactic. And I don't know if it was like because Delilah was in the race, so it wasn't this like battle. I don't know if it was because like her Sydney's reaction was so chill. I don't know if it was because it was the end of the programming, so like we really couldn't get into it because TV time. It was just like she did it and like it was done, and it was just like yeah. And I just was like, and I knew she was running dumb fast when she was making up the staggered at hurdle one. I'm like, well, dang. But it was just I don't know. And maybe it was maybe like I mean the crowd was giving her a standing ovation. Like I don't know. Like the time was crazy, and maybe because she made it look so dang easy.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, or maybe she has me spoiled, and I'm like,
Well, I think that's that's exactly what you're alluding to, where it's like someone in the chat said it. Oh, I put it up on the screen. 3 world records in the last 3 championship finals. Just a few weeks ago when she opened up, she came very close to it. And although the
yeah,
hurdles were off, you still knew that it was a very fast race. And she is kind of making these world records look like a walk in the park. So it's
okay,
interesting because it's like,
fire. Where's the confetti? I wanted something like I don't know. Where's
and
the picture of
so
her with the tie? I don't know, but I just wanted. This is a big deal.
it is a huge deal. But so to this point, it's not her character, but I wish Sid would do a little showboating because as you're talking, I'm thinking about like, clearly Sydney is in a class of her own, right? And at one point, we could say Usain was in a class of his own, right? I mean, he only broke his world record twice. He didn't do it 3 times, but women do it better. But he brought the show to the sport. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think, especially us Americans, some of us had a problem with the show that he brought to the sport. But there is something to be said about the show that he brought and the fact that we just witnessed yet another world record. By watching her, as you said, execute the race, you knew it was going to be something crazy fast, but it was still kind of like, There goes Sydney being Sydney. All right, what's next? What time does the broadcast come on tomorrow?
Someone says it's sad to say what you're saying is that you take Sydney for granted. It's not that I take Sydney for granted. Is what I'm saying is like she just did this amazing thing,
That's
and
the
I just
opposite of what we're
I'm
saying,
saying like
actually.
I'm saying we should be making a much bigger deal about this. And I'm not saying like it's this is Sydney's world record. She can celebrate it however she wants. It just like it was just like a weird to me. It just was a weird thing.
Right. That in order for people to be appreciated, they have to showboat. That's not what we're saying. That's not what we're saying at all. I totally appreciate the world record. I totally appreciated the very unpopular take, but being overly humble is overrated. I totally appreciated the world record. I totally, like Kori said, could see that she was running crazy fast, but we're just speaking from our experience, our honesty. We're not going to sit up here and be dishonest. It was kind of like, dang, girl.
And here's the thing,
5140.
I also said I'm not saying it was Sydney. I'm saying like I don't know if it was TV time and they like couldn't get into like how remarkable because like I want to see the splits. I want to know what she came 200 in, and that's me being a foreign hurdler. Like I don't know. It just was like yeah, Sydney ran the world record. Like I don't know, but it's not that I'm like oh I think she should be less humble.
And it doesn't even have to be the showboating thing. I'm sorry to cut you off because now I'm thinking about Alison, and that was never Alison's character, never Alison's like, and we still got excited when, you know, the first time we saw Alison run 21. Why? Because it had been a while since we'd seen anyone do that, you know? But like when she split 48 and win her first gold, like all the things, but I don't know. I do have to agree with you. And maybe it was the broadcast. Maybe it was, you know, I don't know. But it did kind of just feel like, there she go again, being Sydney. And that's not in a bad way. It just wasn't like the track meet just ended on a world record.
Yeah, and I feel like we should be I'm saying we should be celebrating it even more. Just I'm saying we should not be taking these things for granted because this is a special occasion. I'm saying we should be like, I don't know, but I just feel like moments like these are special, and
we want it to be special. Maybe it was TV time. Maybe I don't know. No need to showboat. Winning a world record speaks volumes. It does. Personally, I don't mind. I think we can. Yeah, but I think we can also expect her to break it again in a few weeks. So, personally, I don't mind. In fact, I enjoy it when people give thanks to God in their interview, but I can agree with him in that the interviews are very generic. I just executed all thanks to God. I heard MJ said that on Twitter too. All thanks to God, and I went out there and did what my coach wanted me to do. So anyway, do y'all think anyone would...
Now let me tell you something. FemK? Don't sleep on FemK. I think if anyone is going to go with Sydney out the blocks, FemK's going to tussle. Do I think that she has it? No. Do I think but do I think FemK's gonna go try to go toe to toe? Yeah.
And that's probably the excitement that was missing today too.
Yeah. And I said that. And I said I miss seeing Delilah in there. And if Delilah is healthy,
yeah.
Let me tell you.
That's what it's hard to say where Delilah's concerned because we know that she's not 100% healthy considering her pulling out of the race, the meet this weekend. I think she might be under-raced going into World Championships because I don't know that she's had very many races. However, Delilah is not one to sleep on. So,
and if you remember last year, The girl had COVID not once
Twice.
but twice. Went to
Yeah.
Olympics under race and went under the world record. So
Yeah. And
if anyone can
Femke
get it done,
yeah.
it's still there are medal ceremonies. They aren't televised.
I stand corrected.
When did I do that?
You're right. It was 3 times. New York, Beijing, and then was it Berlin? This the third time? You're right. Thanks for the correction.
So we'll see how things play out at World Championships. Someone's asking who's our fourth pick right now for the women's 4x4.
I'm not even gonna lie. I haven't even like done a pick. Looked at who I don't even know. I don't even remember who top 3 was or the 2. I know 1 and 6 in that race.
No, I'm saying, well, okay, but you want to know something crazy? My first 2 picks are not even coming from the 400 pool. Yeah. Once again, I'm putting Sydney in a thing about that relay. Yeah. And then from there, we're obviously rolling to Lisa. I kind of like Kendall. I think she runs good relay legs.
She does.
I trust her.
Yeah.
I trust Kendall. Because we are bringing a young team over. I think Kendall or Irby, they have the experience, but I kind of give it to Kendall for me. Mm-hmm. But yeah, can I tell you what I was disappointed in?
You're gonna tell me?
Yeah. I wanted to see Nia in that final.
Same.
She looked so strong in that semi. And when I saw the lineup, I was like, dang. I wanted to see Kenny and Nia go head to head.
I
wanted that for me. We're gonna see it. We're gonna see it at Worlds. Nia has a bye.
Right.
But
Diggs, Ellis, Irby. Thank you. Yeah, but shout out to Alasia. Alasia Johnson had a good final. She went down there and got down there with Kenny and over the number 10. She made the team. She said it in her interview, Time to Bag or something like that. But she's been very outspoken about being unsigned, but having an illustrious season while being unsigned. So closed mouths don't get fed. She's putting it out there that somebody needs to scoop her.
Let's talk about unsigned athletes.
We didn't mention Abby Steiner. She just split 48 at the NCs a couple weeks ago.
Also,
Britton Wilson has split 48-6.
Well, first of all, they got to make the team, but Abby's making the team.
Britton's on the team.
But I also think we got to look at the schedule.
Britton was second in the 400 hurdles.
I'm saying we got to look at the schedule to also see what's actually possible.
Yeah. The schedule, and also if they're still doing the same thing, you can switch all 4 legs instead of 2.
Yeah. And someone brought up a good point. I really don't trust the college kids in 3 weeks. That is facts, because they've been running all indoors, all outdoors.
I never trust the college kids at Worlds. Get mad at me if you want to, but I never trust them at Worlds. Never. And I was one of them, so.
Because they're not training for Worlds. They're training for NCAAs. Like,
at this point, they're hanging on for dear life. Unless you're coached by a Mouse. I think Mouse knows how to cycle his athletes and have them ready for I mean,
they say Gabby Thomas has a grade 2 hamstring hit. Hope not. But I really hope that's not true about Gabby. yeah, the good and the bad thing about the USA is we've got bullets. You know, they say not being signed is very dumb. Not only does she have the talent, but she also has a personality that a brand would want. Yeah, I think it's like I think it's hard because you see an athlete doing well and you expect them to have a contract. Um, but what I will say is that like this is a business, and I'm not saying she doesn't. I'm not saying she doesn't deserve to be signed. I think it's just hard because you don't know the people making these decisions. Like there is no like you run this time, you get a contract. Ask any field eventer who has made a team, who has been winning championships, who aren't signed. Like it's crazy because the issue with our sport is we're professional track and field athletes, but a lot of people are not getting paid to do what we do, and it's just it's hard because you see people who aren't running as fast as you with contracts, but you also don't know what them contracts are looking like as well. Because some people are out here with contracts with gear, but terms and conditions aren't that great, you know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right. What shall we talk about next? The comments, last two comments, we're talking about giving Eric his flowers. Yes, that's my dog. Shout out to retirement. Shout out to being a new dad. Yeah. Congrats to my dog. What else do we see? Michael Norman being Michael Norman.
You look good. You look so strong.
I don't expect Alison to be going back to college. You don't run 43.7 and go back to college. Speaking of who doesn't have a deal. Speaking of who doesn't have a contract, you don't run 43.7 and go back to college. I don't know what year he was. Maybe he was a senior and number 10 all time and still in college. Yeah, you don't run 43.7 and go back to school.
What I will say is if he does not go back to school, put your tuition in that contract. Mm-hmm. Make sure they pay for it.
Yep.
Don't let these people get you out of your degree. Some of these track and field contracts look like bad boy record contracts.
I will say I left with eligibility, and I had that put into my contract that they pay for me to finish my degree. So,
mm-hmm. Stanford was like, we want our money, and it's a lot of it. And I was like, I ain't got it. Nike's gonna have to handle that. Any thoughts on Shawnee walking away from the former leader after 24?
I don't know enough about that to comment on it, honestly. But I think Shawnee has shown that, like, she is uber talented. She's dipped down into the 48s. She's run some... Has she broken 22 seconds? I think she has dipped down into the 21. So I think if given the opportunity to focus on whatever it is that she wants to focus on, I feel like I might have even heard that it was the multis. I mean, you get to... There's certain people that... There's certain things that you do. I'll use Alison as an example. And we're going to see Bobby... They said it a couple of times in the broadcast, do it with Sydney, that you accomplish some things in your event. And then after you do that, then you go have fun in some others and accomplish things over there. I don't think it's any different.
Yeah. I will say with Alison, it's like, I think, like, as you get older, it makes sense to go and run the 4 as opposed to, like, to be a 2-4 or just a 4 runner as opposed to being a 1-2 girl. You know?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think that's why it's smart for Fred to be running the 100 right now. And then, because I know for a fact Fred's gonna come back to 400. But if he wants to do the things that he's doing in the 100, he has to do it now. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. These contracts. That's the thing about these contracts. Like people want to be signed, but it's like sometimes it's better just to like thug it out and get like some little deals here and there, and be able to sign with a bunch of different. Like I think that we're in an age of social media where like there's so many more opportunities that you can create for yourself than like just going a traditional route. Especially if you're locking to a contract that's like you're just getting gear, and just in travel stipend, but you're not really making money. I don't know. Maybe leave those categories open for some more creative deals. So, yeah,
what
it'll
else
be
we got
interesting
to catch up on? We talked about the men's 400. Oh, shout out to Dwayne Ross. That's his name, right? Not Dwayne Ross. Randolph. Dwayne is his dad. Somebody help me out. Randolph.
I don't even know where you're going. Like, someone said, "Why science for just gear?" Because gear is expensive.
Randolph Ross, 3rd place. Where did I get Dwayne from? Dwayne is his dad, his coach. Yes, Dwayne is his papa. Y'all, mom brain. Shout out to him making it to the World Championships. And he's also moving to Tennessee with his dad, transferring. Well, let's see if he goes back to college or if he's really going to transfer. All right, moving on. I'm sorry. Aisha wants us to preview Devon.
Here's the thing is, can Grant Holloway beat Devon? Yeah. Can Grant Holloway beat Devon? I don't know. And let's not forget Trey Cunningham's coming off an amazing collegiate season, and Trey's been good for a long time, and so I think it's going to be fun watching him transition into the pros. But they want us to do the women's 500. We really did forget about it. But you know what it is? Because we
were live yesterday and the final ran. Yeah. Or live on IG, rather. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's going to be interesting between Grant, Trey, my boy D-Rob, and Devon to see which 3 make the team. But here's the thing with the hurdles. You never know because you got it. Bobby Kersey says you got to get over all 10. Doesn't matter how fast you're running. You got to clear the barriers. So, yeah, we were live for the women's 100, but do you want us to speak on the 100?
Do you want us to speak on the 100? And Tim Lane, what do you mean by this? Y'all don't know how this irks my soul. when people say...
I'm going to say this the last time. This woman did not fall for 400 meters. Like, in order for a dive or a fall to work, you got to be at the finish line with the other girl.
Irks my soul when people say that.
She didn't just like transport herself to the finish line.
And I'm going to say this, and I want you to listen closely. If Shanae gets disqualified from that race, I get the bronze medal. Okay? With that being said...
Qualified from that race, Alison gets the gold, and y'all know how I feel about Michelle
With
Felix.
that being said, put some respect on that girl's name. She won that gold medal. Stop it. All right.
Yeah. Here's the thing is there's some other golds that need to get taken away before hers.
All right.
Y'all were wrong goals.
Oh
yeah. Tomorrow will also be the end of another era with Michelle Carter
in the shot.
Michelle is the
I
reason
love
why I started caring about the shot put. My dad was like, there's this girl, she's black, throwing this shot put, she's killing it. And her last name's Carter. And yeah, Michelle has just been a constant for Team USA. You guys don't know this, but we like vote for a team captain at all our world Olympic teams. And the women, we never have a vote. Everyone is just like, it is going to be Michelle. It is going to be Michelle. The men will be over here having whole campaigns, but Michelle has always been team mom for us. So it is, I feel like, especially for the throws group, she's been like a source of like wisdom. And even for me, like she's a comforting person. But yeah, it will be tough to say goodbye. But I saw Michelle at Texas Relays, and I feel like she's excited for this next chapter. And that's the thing about being an athlete. Like, eventually, your body's like, look, I don't know about you, but I'm not doing this anymore.
Yeah. I'm going to leave this comment on the screen just because I want it to marinate a little bit and all the things while I address Michelle's final nationals as the first and only U.S. Olympic gold medal in the shot put. She's also a black woman. She's Black excellence. If you've been around here for some time, you know Michelle and I are freaking frack. So another one it's emotional to see her take her. I don't want to say final throw because there's Eugene in a few weeks as well. But yeah, it's like you said, the end of another era. It's hard to imagine that these people. I remember Michelle and I went to World Juniors together in 2004 in Grosseto, Italy. And now, 18 years later, yeah, final throws at U.S. Nationals. So, if you know, you know. Exactly. Exactly.
Someone says, how would you guys feel about being to watch a world champs in normal time? All the finals for the U.S. in Europe will be between 2 and 5 p.m. 5 a.m. UK people will be suffering. Here's my thing. Last summer, I almost died from exhaustion trying to watch all of these races. We were up at 2 in the morning watching these races and then waking up again to watch.
So I have a question for you. I just thought about it as like putting that into perspective because for y'all that were here last summer, we appreciate y'all that like y'all last summer at the Olympics, the coverage that we did for the Olympics where we were live every day. And that live, even though it was just for an hour, or was it 2 hours? Just for 2 hours. We had to watch the meet. We were taking notes. We didn't really have producers we had producers, but not producers in the sense that were like giving us a script, like everything that you saw, outfits, everything. Like that was some hard work. So would you say it's harder to call the races, or not call the races, but like report on the races than to actually watch the races? Because I gotta tell you, like, even sitting in here in the living room, again, especially watching Alison, like I was walking around my couch like, why am I stressed out? Like I'm about to run
I'm yelling
because like there's this like, emotional attachment, but like which one's harder?
I think, okay, so here's the thing. It is, what we did last year was crazy, but the emotional attachment, it's like watching Alison, watching Ajay, gives me anxiety like no other. It's why when people are like, oh, would you ever coach? Absolutely not. I care too much. I will give myself a heart attack. It's why like I had like in high school I had to be anchor because if we're gonna lose, it has to be because of me because I can't watch this. Yeah, it's just hard. But yeah, Someone asked, is the first year after the Olympics especially hard mentally for the athletes?
Yeah. Yeah. And that's, I think we spoke a little bit to this on the live last night, IG live. It's something to be said. We talk a lot about physically going after it. But an Olympic year is definitely an emotionally draining year. I remember I went to train with Bobby Kersey the year after 2008, so I went to him in 2009, and we didn't start training until December. And I remember I moved out to LA, and like I'm used to starting training in like October, November-ish. And I was still young at that time, so like even that was late for me, but like my season obviously was a lot longer. And I remember I would be like texting him and calling him like, "Hey Bobby, like you don't want me to do nothing? We're not starting practice. When does practice start?" And he would just kind of say, he finally just told me one day, he was like, "Listen, last year was an emotional year. I'm giving you the time to come down from that emotion so that we can go after it again." But I don't think, and Bobby kind of gets this reputation and all these things, but I don't think that, I think he was ahead of the game for a lot of people in terms of recognizing that like it's an emotional race as well, and the emotions take just as much of a toll on the body, and you have to account for that when you think about like training cycles and competition cycles and coming back and doing it again. Listen, to do what Sydney's doing, to break the world record at nationals last year at the trials, to break it again at the Olympics, to come back and do it again tonight, you betcha that is emotional, and Bobby
You
takes
just said
all of that
something.
into account.
You just said something that made like maybe why her reactions aren't so crazy is like she's just trying to keep it like I still got work to do.
Hmm.
I maybe that's what it was that I was seeing that it's like I can't let myself get over all the way up here when I still got worlds to
You
go
kind of got to
to. I
keep a
still have
lid on it. Yeah.
yeah. Wow, that just hit me because I never went to Olympics, but um, when I don't know why Worlds is not the last event of the season, but when I tell you, Coach Lowe was like after 2017, he was like, "Do you want to go to the Diamond League?" And I just couldn't. Like, I was so emotionally drained because I'd spent my whole season being like, "I want to be world champion, I want to be world champion," and once it happened, to get myself hype up about like a Diamond League race, it was just like that wasn't on my to-do list, and I just couldn't it was just like I was so exhausted from the emotion I had put in for like months and months and months, and then it happened, and I was like I gave it everything, and now I have literally nothing left.
Yeah.
They're gonna get mad at us if we do not talk about this women's 100 final. But before
All right,
we
let's
get to
talk
the
about
women's
it.
100, I just want to say, City Girls up, Fred Curly.
Oh,
Fred
I was like,
Curly.
what? Where are you going with this one?
You know exactly where I'm going.
Oh
here's the
no,
thing.
I'm sorry. Let me address this comment real quick. You could never be my therapist because I'll end up talking about your relay legs and run out of time. So listen, I've been thinking about this, right? Because if you know me, I love fashion, I love interior design. I've been thinking about like what I want my office to look like. I can't put a picture of me running, can I? Because I'm
It's all
probably
about
gonna do
you.
my PhD. I can't do it, huh? Especially in like sports counseling. And like I plan on using like all the letters after my name. So I have OLY, LPC, PhD. I plan on using them all, right?
And
So do I put the picture like outside my office or do I put it in my office? That the in my office will probably be a distraction, huh? But
I
listen,
think
I'm
you know
walking in who I am. I'm starting to hold my chest high and introduce myself as the Natasha Hastings, the two-time Olympic gold medalist.
deep. I say you do a frame photo of yourself, and then you point, and then you position it so it's on your desk looking at you. Because it's not about you in therapy.
It's not about me. It is about my clients. However, I'm going to use every letter after my name to market myself, okay?
Someone said Frederica Curley has the girls shaking in their boots. I don't look at it. Here's the thing: is I don't know if Fred likes what I say about him, but I'm really happy that y'all are here for it. Oh yeah, Fred and Lamont be killing me, but Fred really is the baddest and the realest. When he tells me he's gonna do something, I believe it. Even when Trayvon got out the way he did, or to the point where I thought that he had false started. Yeah, Fred just looks so strong the whole race through, and like the mental fortitude to have someone get out on you and just be like, I'm going to run my race and trust in it.
Yeah, it was funny because it's not totally correct, but I saw him doing it and I was like, I mean, it ain't right, but hey, it worked. He was behind, right? And he still had his head down. And I saw in the race when he literally lifted his head up and he was behind, but he started turning it over and went into the lead. Speaking of Trayvon, like getting out on him. But I was like, that speaks to his level of focus and like staying within his race, in his lane, but still competing and racing. Cause there's one thing where we say, stay in your lane, focus on your lane, but you got to race. You got to be able to respond to who's next to you at the same time while doing all of those things. And the baddest girl in track and field did it.
And let's not forget, like, Trayvon just gave him that work a few weeks ago at Pre on that same track. And Fred said, no, I got something for that. Mm-hmm. And Fred, I feel like, got out better at Pre. A little bit better with Trayvon. So, look. I might. It's 64.
All right. So we're going to go back to the women's 100 now?
Yes. How are we feeling?
Well, first and foremost, 1069. It was a fast race. 1069 was the win. The slowest time was 11:04, 02, something like that, right? It was wind dated. It was plus 2.9, so those times won't go down as, all-time times. But what do they call them? All-comers times or something like that. But it's still the fastest.
All conditions.
Huh?
All conditions.
All conditions. It's still the fastest 100 that we've seen in the U.S. women's 100 finals, at least when you think about from 1 to, did we have 9 or 8 finalists? 9 finalists. Jefferson she's actually had a pretty good season. She didn't perform the way that she wanted to at NCAA's a few weeks ago. She placed 8th, but I mean, talk about showing up when it counts. And I mean, NCAA's counts, but going to the World Championships, I think that counts more.
And
Aaliyah was second in 10.8. She's been giving us a consistent season. She's run 10.8 a couple of times this season. So
I feel like she just tightened up at the end. And I'm gonna get in trouble for saying this, but we found out that Sha'Carri not making it to semi was actually an act of protest.
Kori's thoughts and opinions are not those of Track Girl Summer. See, look.
No, I'm just sorry. I'm acting up right now, guys.
She is acting up.
Don't
she is
listen
totally
to me.
acting up. But now the people want to know why and how was this a protest, and she came back for the 200. So please explain yourself. Please give your comment some context.
I was just reading her Twitter when she said, "Why?"
I am dropping her. I'm dropping her. I don't want the smoke. Okay, I don't want the smoke.
She said that she was like, "Why would I want to represent this country?" And I was like, "Okay, race plan making sense."
That was the tweet. That
Let
was
me
the
stop.
tweet. And to give it further context, I'm assuming that her tweet was in reference to our Supreme Court ruling yesterday where Roe v. Wade has been overturned. And so that was what she tweeted. And I mean, you know, all jokes aside,
that is a real rap raw thing to say, because it's sometimes conflicting to be like, even at me as an athlete, it is an honor and a privilege to have USA across my chest and to represent my country, especially, you know, #1 track and field team in the world. At the same time, they're killing us. At the same time, they're taking away our rights. At the same time, it's like, sometimes I'm not so proud to be American. So I joke.
Yeah.
I joke.
And
but
to be
the sentiment, and it's hard because you want to do both. You want to perform and represent your team, but also like sometimes the country really be hating us.
Yeah. Yeah. I think and to be totally fair and transparent, Philando Castile's murder was just a few days before I made the Olympic team. And I made the Olympic team on July 4th, and I remember actually having that very same feeling, like, how can I be excited? How can I be happy and prideful about representing a country that this is happening to my people and there's no repercussion, and, you know, a life, it can just be so easily taken, and, you know, and to bring it on back, that life don't matter, but y'all want to police my uterus. But let's keep it going. Much better. Yes, thank you for reminding me to do the housekeeping. Hit the like button, share. There's 73 of y'all in here. We started out at like 25. We've been gone for a minute, so we appreciate y'all being here, supporting us, even though we have been MIA, but you know, life is lifing.
For real. You heard all of the acronyms behind Natasha's name. Okay, she's busy.
Right now, I just have the OLY, but I'm working on the LPC, PhD to come.
You got the
MLM. What else haven't we? Did we finish covering the women's 100?
Yeah, but like.
Yeah, we wrapped that up. I guess since we were already here, we could talk. I didn't watch it, but we could talk a little bit about the women's 200. Sha'Carri did compete in the women's 200 first round today, along with Gabby Thomas. Who else advanced to the semis? And they have their semi and final tomorrow, correct? Oh, Abby Steiner. Yep.
Yeah. I think Abby's a little bit more race ready, but yeah, this was a joke. I need to stop. I told you guys. I told you guys. Don't ever listen to me, except when I'm telling the truth. Here's the thing about the 200. Them girls are girling.
Mm-hmm. I love that we can really say that now.
Right?
I love that. Anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, I think it's going to take 21 to make this team, period. And I think there's a lot of people who can get a spot.
Yeah, you got Gabby Thomas, Sturgis, Steiner, Sha'Carri,
Jenna. And Brittany Brown. Don't forget the world silver medalist. So
it's hard to say, but you know what? I gotta say, I'm excited. I think in the women's 200 and the 400 hurdles, we are seeing some things that And I mean, I'm gonna give. Last year, the excitement was the women's 400 hurdles because
And
like,
the men's.
and the men. But I love my ladies. Um, but to see so many women consistently running 21s and like to see these competitive races where we're literally over here like, I don't know, I can't call it. It's gonna be something fast.
I
Um,
love that.
I love it for us. I do. It's exciting. It gives me a heart attack, but I love to see it.
It's like, who let the dogs out? Who? Who? Because everybody's out here rolling. But I think it just goes to show like the level of excellence that has like that you need in order just to like exist in our sport. In order to make a team, you're gonna have to run 21, not to win, to make the team. So yeah. Anything else we missed? Also, shout out to Kori McGee. I think she ran a really great 1500. The men's 1500 had me stressed out.
Nobody
was
wanted
like,
to
y'all
go for it.
playing games. I've never seen a final 100 like that. In the 15, I said, y'all did not run an honest race at all. Y'all said, who's been doing their speed work? Who's been tussling with the sprinters? Because, gosh, the women kept it a little bit more honest, but the men, I said, I've never seen 15 men running for 3 spots like that.
Yeah, actually, the men's 15, I remember I was kind of like, dang, the top 3 all changed in that last 100.
Because
all
it came
3
out
spots.
race.
Yeah.
Like, they were bunched up the whole race. I'm like, okay, usually first lap, and then it starts to, string out, and no one wanted to take
Nobody
it out.
wanted to take the lead, and you could even see them looking like, are you gonna go? Are you gonna go? Are you gonna take it? Like nobody wanted to be the one to go out there.
Yeah, I also was so happy to see Evan back on the track. Like, I love me some Evan Jaeger, and like he's had.
Is it Jaeger or Jaeger? That was driving me crazy. I thought it was Jaeger.
I could call him Jaeger, but
Is Jaeger?
It could be Jaeger.
All right, maybe I'm thinking
about
Jägermeister.
But yeah, it was like, I know he's had like a really, really, really rough couple of years. And for a long time, he was like that guy in the 3K. And so to see him come back and like make this team a steeplechase, and just see like the level of gratitude he had just to like be back on the track, it was really exciting to see. So yeah.
Y'all, we are winging it. This is the least prepared we have ever been for a show. We usually have notes, but I was like, the people been asking for us. Let's just show up and just
we're vibing.
Keep it easy. I think that's what my brain was thinking about.
Someone's like, don't all these people, but I'm not like, hi. I'm like, hey, Evan, like, call my first name. Yeah. We've been winging it. It is crazy times. I don't have a camera set up because my camera's not even in this state. I'm packing up, trying to move, so yeah.
I couldn't figure out my lighting. I couldn't get the intro to play. But we're here. We're here. 76 of y'all are with us. Continue to share and like, although I don't know how much longer we're gonna be here, but we're gonna chat it up. Oh, we just hit the 1 hour mark. Okay, they're dropping some Jamaican results in there.
Oh, sorry. There's like some discourse of like, because I'm not. Here's what I would say. One, if I'm in the race, I'm gonna see you as a competitor, and I'm going to try to win.
Bang.
Doesn't matter what event I'm
Gang,
in.
gang.
But at the same time, #low nose, and also like, when we get to like the world stage, anyone on the U.S. team, I'm supporting. I'm riding for. I'm dying for. So,
is this true?
I think you can do both. What? Hurdlers don't get along, just so you know, especially the short hurdlers. They don't like each other. Um, I think that like there's competition with the hurdlers even before you hit the track. In that, I'm fighting you just to get some hurdles in the warm up area.
Oh yeah. And y'all be
You gotta,
pissing me off because y'all will
you
take
gotta,
over the warm up area, boy.
I think like the idea that we don't get along. No, I'm not trying to fight nobody.
Aisha, this
Believe
don't
me, no.
matter. Let me tell
Here's
y'all
the thing.
something. In like, let me tell you, from like 2008, probably like 2007 to like 2011-ish, 12-ish, we ain't really like each other either. And that wasn't everybody, but you know.
You said 2007.
Hmm.
Natasha, you
When
old.
you were in middle school, shut up.
Was I
I
even
got
in
your
middle
shade.
school?
I got your shade. Don't worry.
Um, no, I think that like here's the thing. I don't think it's an event thing. I think it is a competitor thing. Like athletes have big egos because we had to tell ourselves every single day, hey, I'm the best in the world at what I'm doing. And I'm going, the person to the lane next to me is trying to literally take food off of my plate. That's not to say that we don't kiki and hang out after the race, but like sometimes some people like mentally, in order for me to like beat you, I can't be your best friend. Some other people, like they can train, hold hands with their competitors, and then go to their out. It's literally a personality
Yeah.
thing. It's a mental thing. It's how you have to conduct yourself as a competitor. But I think hands down, we all respect each other. Like, well, I
This
respect my
is
competitors because I appreciate them because they push me to better heights. But yeah, there's gonna be some drama between people at all times.
all the time. Hey, y'all see drama on the team. Drama, conflict is normal. Since those
That's
that
why
came in second and third in the 1500 meters haven't run world champ standards yet this season, does that mean if they don't do it in the next 3 weeks, they don't go to the world championships?
it's also based off of like the rankings, right? So if
Something
they're
like
all
that.
on top, yeah.
So to
Who's
answer your question, once upon a time it was like that where there's a standard and then you have a certain amount of time. You have to hit it like before the world championships or by a certain date. Now there is also some sort of standard system, ranking system that they're going off of on top of the ranking. So not the ranking, I'm sorry, the standard. So if you don't have the standard, you need to fall into some sort of ranking in order to qualify. It's confusing. A lot of
Someone's
people
bringing up
don't
Michael
like it.
Johnson and Dr. Haley as
Last
athletes
day to
getting
meet the
together.
standards is tomorrow. Yes, that has also changed too, where you now don't have until the worlds to make the standard. The last time to make the standard is tomorrow.
I would also bring up that when we
Aisha, I appreciate you.
sorry, I'm unprepared. Um, but why am I having a brain fart? Mike, world record holder, long jump. Mike Powell.
How?
When Mike Powell got on here and was still talking trash about Carl Lewis, and I was like, this was 33 years ago when you were kids. I just don't like how y'all try to make it seem like the women be catty, because the OGs be still holding on to the
Mike
beef,
was still
and
talking his
I
mess.
love it.
Oh yes, that's an important point to make. The caliber of those races count towards those rankings too. So, a world challenge would be weighted more heavily than a collegiate meet, if you will.
Yeah, yeah. someone asked if we've ever roomed with someone that we had a race the next day. I have, and I was looking at the meet director crazy after that because not that I had any beef with this girl, but it was just like,
for a while that was just the standard, and I think it was only until not only until recently, but it did have to get to a point where it was like, okay, don't put competitors in the same room.
Yeah. So, if 20 people get the standard, the next 20 will rankings get in. Yeah. Yeah, the standard, it's interesting, the standards, because in some events it seems really low, in other events it seems really high. But you also have to remember that, like, sometimes we think the standard's really high because we're not as strong in that event on a worldwide stage. Yeah, but so we're so used to being so dominant. So it's like, yeah, and we don't have to worry about us having standards for the 100, but like in javelin, we might not have, or triple jump, for example, we might not have the standard.
Because to be honest, I want to say for most of my career, I didn't know what the standard was because I knew I'm in one of those events that is so dominant that I had it,
Yeah.
My issue was placing in top 3. But for events like the distances, some of the jumps, some of the throws, that's where it was probably more common to see that we didn't necessarily have the standard. So you would see kind of the untraditional qualifying in some of those events.
Tara does have the standard. She did foul out of long jump. I don't know if, like, I mean, technically, I guess she's eligible if, like,
I think that's the call that they're going to make, right? Because if the other competitors don't have the standard and she does, I think she does still go.
Yeah.
Because if there's a body that we can put on the team, we're going to put it on the team.
Yeah.
Oh, Tara won't get on the team. Yeah. All right. I need to brush up on those rules then.
Someone's asking what Christian Taylor is. He's at the meet.
Yeah.
Triple jump tomorrow. So, yeah.
All right. The chat seems to be slowing down. Any last remarks? Oh, my mom. All right. Kori was a little shady, but I'm going to be... It's not really shady. It's me tooting my horn again. I tooted it earlier. During the broadcast, it was Alison. Oh, no. Yeah, it was in part of telling Alison's story, where they were saying Gail Devers, Alison, Sonia, and there was one other name I think that they named of athletes who have appeared in 6 teams. I would just like to say, they don't like to put respect on my medals because they are relay medals, but I have also been to 6 world championships as well.
And this is not to shade you, but I'm like, I don't think that like I know Michelle, I'm like, there's people that I'm like, they've definitely been on 6 teams. Like, you tell me Gatlin wasn't on 6 teams. Eric was
Jackie Joyner Kersey, like, thank you.
I think she was just trying to like put them all in the same like caliber and like
totally.
And also because I was like, I feel like there are some mad consistent people that like that's not that it's. I was like, that's not all the people at all.
Yeah.
But yes, because Natasha's one of them. Yeah. So
2007 to 2017. I was on every world team.
Oh, she said
2007. Osaka, wow. Berlin, Daegu, Beijing. I skipped one. Osaka, Berlin, Daegu, Moscow, Beijing, London. Put some respect on my name. I am a 2-time Olympic gold medalist. All right, on that note, we gotta go.
Of Atlanta. Yeah, people out here being like, oh, do you guys have beef? I'm like, and why do you think we can just get right into the thick of things at Real Housewives?
Brittany
Training
Reese
ground.
is definitely in that
Oh
conversation.
yeah.
There were a number of people that, yeah. Yep. Yep.
Tyson.
No. Uh, 7, 9.
Like,
I don't think Tyson makes 6.
no.
Somebody Google that. And then, of course, that's also just a U.S. stat. There are other athletes
Yeah, I'm also
around the
thinking like,
globe who, yeah.
I'm like,
You know what? Y'all might be right. Tyson may have made that
and then it's like, okay, Edwin. Edwin went 9 months, 9 days. 9 years, 9 months, 9 days without a loss. So I know there was at least 16 in that time.
Yeah, no, Tyson's only 4. No. You know what it is? Some of those
Not older than
2000, yeah.
Um,
All right. We will be on tomorrow.
yeah, we'll be back. I think, did we say eight
Tyson
eight
makes
your
6?
time, 8 Eastern?
I think we'll be on at 8 o'clock my time. Yeah, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time or
I wanna
Eastern
mention Kim
Daylight
Collins.
Time. What? Yeah.
And Kim Collins is a vampire. That man don't age. I said, what is the skin routine, Kim?
Oh yeah, Tyson does go back to 2004. You're right. You're right.
So yeah.
Anything else to wrap up before we
Aretha probably got how many teams? No, Aretha's been every world championship.
Aretha? Oh yeah,
yeah.
Aretha is definitely +6. Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So okay, so we'll be back
Eastern.
tomorrow. I think 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Someone said check on Sharika. Yeah, Sharika and Ashley had some rough
Yeah.
falls. Hopefully they're okay. It's just it's the hurdles. It's the track and the field. Someone says I hope Alison Felix has a baby boy. I just thought of like another because Cammy is Kenny, and I was like, if they have another Kenny running around too, I won't be able to control myself. Here's the thing is, Alison already has so many children because she literally raised all of us. All these girls and these guys are her sons. She taught y'all how to run, and y'all should be grateful. But yeah, we'll be back tomorrow. Maybe with a guest. I don't know why I'm throwing that out.
Who will be the guest? Oh, maybe with a guest. Yeah, I told you I was talking to. Okay, I'll talk to you offline about that. Maybe we can bring a guest on tomorrow.
Yeah.
You thought Kori was about to be fully shady. You know she can be.
I really don't do shady. I just do like fear existing.
Liam is doing great. You might see him tomorrow.
I'm speaking of children.
Oh gosh.
Kovu turned 8 this month. He's a Gemini.
Happy birthday, Kovu.
Alison is not pregnant. Don't start this rumor.
Right. At least not on Track Girl Summer. That's why I'm not even pulling the comment up.
Only thing she's giving birth to right now is success and a legacy. But if you are pregnant or have a kid, Alison is providing child care at U.S. trials. So.
Oh, I had one of his school pictures right here.
Hi, baby.
Anyway.
How can I get one of those in the mail? Rude.
All right. Send me your new Philly address and I'll send it to you.
All right.
All right. Kori, you want to sign us out here?
I'm gonna be honest, I don't have the script up. So follow us, like the things. We'll be back tomorrow. Don't listen to anything that comes out of my mouth, but like to Natasha, she's literally a therapist. And thank y'all for coming.
Thanks, guys. I'm going to try to do this outro. Let's see if it works. If it doesn't, just go with the flow. We'll see you tomorrow.